Today we're going to teach about the Salesforce topic on page layouts. You already know that the last class we spoke about the relationship. So today we're going to speak about the page layouts. Now, before going to the page layouts, I'm going to show you some of the points which I have already listed down. The page layouts, what is basically this page layouts is needed for in Salesforce. If I talk about the page layouts are the layouts of the pages which is specific to the profiles or else specific to the users. There is a controversy between the users and the profiles. So let's speak about the basic concepts of the page layouts. Now here I'm going to discuss on the first point on the new button which is page layout cloning, and the second on with more number of points, and going ahead with what are the privileges which is available in the page layouts. Now before going to the page layouts, I've already want to show you that you go to the patient prescriptions. I'm going to show you with this object how the page layout going to work. Go to the record, consider one record, say about Rudra. So I'm clicking on Rudra. So here the page layouts, you can see the edit layout, correct? So this is a detail page where it defines about the number of fields and its related list. So this is nothing but the page layout where you can edit it by clicking on edit layout. And once you go to the edit layout, you have a lots of privileges within the page layouts. So let us discuss one by one what are all about. Can you see this on the left hand side? You can see fields, you can see buttons, quick actions, mobile and lightning actions, expanded lookups, related list, and the report charts. Let us discuss one by one, considering the fields. Now, what is a field is all about? Fields are all about which you can see below in all the whatever we have created, whether it is a standard fields or the custom fields. Now, if I want to place a custom field with a desired number of actions, we can do the changes here. So let us first consider what are the sections. Let me consider on the fields, we have the sections here and the blank space. Now if I consider the sections, I can create a separate sections within the page layout. Say for example, here we have the different sections like the information section, you have the system information section, like that. I would create one more section, simply drag and drop it here, and you can create a sections. Let me drop it here. The section speaks about the section name, what you want to give. Say for example, if I want to give a section which is a complete different name, before that I'm going to show you why we can create a section. Suppose for example, you can see the default layout. This is what first you have to do is the default layout for the patient prescription is Medi prescription form layout. Now always remember, whenever you want to create a new page layout, you need to clone the existing page layout and then do the modifications on the fields. That would be the best practice of the Salesforce. So if I want to make a clone of this page layout, I would specifically consider to do the clone of the page layouts. So before that, if I want to go, I would suggest that I would go ahead with the custom object patient prescription. you can create the page layouts new button. So once I click on the new button, it will ask for the name of a page layout, whether you need to clone it or whether you need to create a new page layouts. So, but as an option, you must know that selecting an existing layout to clone is far better. If you create a page layout without cloning, your page layout will not include the standard sections whose names are translated for your international users. Now what I will do is I will consider the existing page layout, MIDI prescription form layout, and the named page layout new cloned one. I can name it as cloned prescription layout. So this is cloned prescription layout. You can see feed based layout. Feed based layout includes separate tabs for the feed and the detailed views of the record and let you customize both views. So let us not worry about those things. If you want, if you can check it out, because this is feed. I will tell you what is feed is basically on. So I let me make it save. Once this page layout has been created, you can see the clone page layout, and I have not made it as a default one. The default page layout is one which is by default you can see when you're directly going to the edit page layout. So over here the loading one is the clone prescription layout. Now coming to this section area, I will make the changes. Now going to this section, I will drag a section. I want to create a new section. Say for example, if I want to drag the section somewhere near down over to the say I want to create a section here. Okay, let me drag and drop a section here. Okay, it is asking for section, so I will tell it's a cloned section where you have the display section header on detail page and the edit page. Let us check mark both for the edit page as well as detail page. Now here you can see it is speaking about the layout. The layout means whether you want one column layout or you want a two column layout. I've already in need of a two column layout. Let it be two column. And tab key order. Remember this tab key order is the traversing of the tabs when you press on the tab key on your laptop. So when you are pressing it, like it moves from in a horizontal direction, like 1 2 3 4 in the horizontal ways from left to right, and this is what is known as it moves vertically 1 2 3 4. So I have selected the left right tab key order, press on OK. Now clone section is empty. Now let me consider some of the fields which need to be specified. Say for example, if you want to edit a clone section name, I'll tell about clone section address. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll move all these like a patient's email. I'll move it on here. I will move the patient house address. I'll move it here, and I'll move his Aadhaar card number. These are all specific to the just for the address kind of a thing. I'm just moving it to be precise, and I have the patient's phone number over here. So this is the clone connect section address, which is different, and I can save this, and even you can add. I can save this. So once I can save, you can see the section being saved. Also, you can see here the blank space. You can add the blank space as well whenever you want a space to be altered between the fields or the sections. You can add that blank space as well. Now let me go here, and if I talk about the blank space, let me refresh this as well. This is getting saved. Okay, now it's going to show you. See, this is the one which is clone prescription layout, which I have created the new one with the cloning of the old one. So going to this edit, you have this clone prescription layout which is altered. See, you can see this clone prescription layout. This is the form of the layout which is already available. I'm going to move on to the clone prescription layout. Okay, so this clone prescription layout is already saved, and you can see the couple of clone section address which is already over here. Now, if you want to add some of the blank spaces, you can create that as well. Say for example, if you want to place a blank space between these two, you can add it and beautify it furthermore to show its the differences between the sections. So you can make it as admission fees, doctor consultation fees, and the total fees all together in one area. And you can make it some other kind of informations just to specific to the thing, like date, time, ad admitted. You can you can give one more space over here and make it something beautified. So like this, the use of the blank space as well as section is already been discussed, which is already with respect to the fields. Also, you can have the field sections wherever you want to place. You can be placed whenever it is required. Now, in that, if you want to make it required or non-required, go to this panel kind of a sign, and if you go to this, if you press it on required, you can see the patient phone number will be made as a required with the red mark. And if you want to make it as a read only, if you make it read only and okay, this will change the key as into read only. So these are the properties which can also be set within the fields, which is another privilege. If you want to delete the field, you can also delete the field, but it will be available over here. So like for example, if I remove this and if I make it read only, and then okay, if I remove this field will be available over here, this patient phone number. It will be back to the section area. So this is how the field can be altered, and you can beautify it, and you can press it on the save. These all changes will be saved as it and when. Now coming to the next, you will talk about the buttons. Now coming to the buttons, let it save it, and I will come back to the buttons. So if you come back to the buttons, you have the submit for approval. And what is the submit for approval? You have a couple of buttons in the patient prescription details, say for example standard buttons and the custom buttons. Now you have custom buttons which is created? No, not at all. If you move this standard buttons over to the custom buttons, it will never move, because the custom buttons placeholder is different from the standard buttons placeholder. Now if you want a submit for approval, this is a standard buttons. If you try to drag and drop over to the custom buttons, it will never come to the custom buttons, but it will go and stick to the standard buttons. So if this need to be removed, you can drag and drop back to the positions. So this is all about the buttons, if about speaking about the standard buttons and the custom buttons. Now quick actions. Now what are these quick actions? Quick actions are nothing we are speaking about. It's an actions, quick actions in the Salesforce Classic Publisher. Actions in the sections are currently inherited from the global publisher layout. You can override it whenever it is needed. You can see this override to customize. Press on the override to customize. You can see this post, file, mobile, smart actions, link, poll, and questions. Now, what are these quick actions? When I'm speaking about the quick actions, let us consider on feed tracking. You can see this feed tracking. Okay, this is a feed tracking. This feed tracking, if you are navigating over this feed tracking, you can see the sign which is available at the top left corner. I will show you. It will come over to the top left corner where you have to, whenever you do the changes for the particular field, the quick actions on the feed will come like the old value and the new value. It's like an audit trial, but not exactly the audit trial. Say for example, if I'm doing the feed tracking for the patient prescription, I'm considering this patient prescriptions. Let me remove the account because it was on the account before. I don't want to be on the account. I will click on enable on the prescriptions. Okay, now the patient prescriptions fields are shown here. Now if I want to show the, say for example, patient's email, if I want to change, if I change it, the old value will also be replaced with the new value and it will show in the screen. I will show it, make it save. Once you make it save, it is already saved, and then when you go to the record, say for example, I'll go to the patient prescription, otherwise this is itself it would be better. Your changes have been saved. Now you can go to the patient prescription. It is still saving it. So I'll move to the patient prescription. Okay, if you go to the patient prescription over here, you can see the, if you go to the Rudra, to consider one record, Can you see this show feed? Press on this show feed. Okay, now if I want to change, I'm changing the field. Say for example, this field patient email, because in the feed tracking I have already made the patient email. If it is made as a check mark, that means the changes whatever we are doing it over here will be noted down in the top corner, right? So I'm going to change this from cloud.com to yahoo.co.in. So if I save this, you can see those changes, whatever the changes which is done over here. So that is nothing but the feed tracking for quick actions. So can you see this? The Rudra at cloud.com, sorry, Rudra at yahoo.co.in is, the new changes which we have done from Rudra at cloud.com. Got it? So whatever the changes what we are doing it there is recorded over into the feed tracking. That is what we are speaking about, the quick actions. Now again, consider any of the record. See the layout, you are not able to see it. Whatever the changes which I have made with the blank space, why it is not able to see it? Because this layout what it is taking is the default layout. We have not made the cloned prescription layout as the default layout for this field, because the older one is itself kept as a default. We need to change that thing. I will tell you where to change it. Now if you go to the view object, I can go into the edit layout. See, when I'm going to the edit layout, it will show the default page layout which is already been, which is not the new cloned one. So that is why your changes which is made, or the changes, the blank spaces what you have added is not visible there. So let us change those. See, now what we have to do is the page layouts which are supposed to be seen. Say for example, from here if I consider, see this is the default one which is showing it. That's why you are not able to see the clone prescription layout. Now how can you set this clone prescription layout as the default one? Any guess? That is nothing but over here, if you go to the page layout assignment, you can make which layout you want to keep it as the default one. So if I'm clicking on the page layout assignment, I would suggest my clone prescription layout to be the default one. So when aligning the page layout assignment, you should think one thing in mind. for how many users or for how many profiles you can keep this page layout. So the scenario one, you can exist coming into the thoughts like, are you assigning it to the users or are you assigning to the profiles? The page layouts are assigning to the profiles and not the user. Okay, that is the first concept. So here you have the concept. The table below shows the page layout assignments for different record type and profile combinations. Let us not talk about the record 1 and record 2 because you will get confusion. I will tell you, see, right now this you can see the master one. Now the master one is nothing but the default page layout which is seen across the each profiles if you are allotting one such profile for your applications. Now if my application is Amith Senior, this Amith Senior is nothing but my baby admin profile. I am having this baby admin profile as the profile for this user. So now I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna edit the assignment. How can I edit the assignment? Click on this. Sorry, click on this edit assignments. When I click on the edit page layout assignment, it says to which page layout you need to make the changes. Say for example, page layout to use is which one? I will be using it the default one as the clone prescription layout. See, you select this, okay, the color changes and make a chain mark to clone prescription. Can you see this clone prescription layout is changed for baby admin? Now uh, when you are visualizing it, the clone prescription layout will be visible. So let us see, you have the different option as well, the like record 1 and record 2. So these record 1 and record 2 will talk on the next topic. It is pretty easiest and simplest way where you can even change the page layouts based on the record 1 and record 2 types. But it completely depends on the components what you use. Components like the visual force page, the components like the fields, the components like you are using for fields visual force page, or you can use of the the any other components of the tab settings. It depends on what you use. See, here you can see the default is Medi prescription form layout. Now over here, when these changes are made, you can see every time, okay, this is done. Now when this is done, you can see, you can come to back to the custom object patient prescriptions, where if I refresh it, in the quick actions, you can even do the changes whatever you need. You can bring down whatever the new contacts are, all log a call. You can drag and drop here. If you don't want, you can get back to this. These are all nothing but quick actions. Now coming to the mobile and lightning actions, we are talking about mobile Salesforce mobile and lightning experience actions. Now over here, we are completely using it. The actions in the sections are predefined by the Salesforce. You can override the predefined actions to set a customized list of actions for the Lightning experience, like the mobile apps you have. So for the mobile apps, you want the layout to be changed. So completely those actions for the mobile is set over here. So if you click on the spanner, you can bring the couple of changes like the email if you want to write it down, or if you want the new account, a new group which need to be a new note. If you want to do a note, you can keep it, and you can pull the email back to the sections. So this is how you can make use of the mobile and lightning actions, that you can see it in the advanced classes. Now what is this expanded lookups? Expanded lookups is also like kind of where you can work on with the expanded lookups link, where you have the mobile cards here. You can see here. So this over here, Salesforce mobile only. So this is also like kind of like you can get to know whenever you want to create it by, you can bring down and last modified by and prescribe doctors. Whatever the things which is expanded lookups is basically a lookup relationships. Only you can deal with the lookup relationships and not everything. So you can deal with this, whenever you wanted with the lookup relationships. Now the related list. If you come back to the related list, you have the buttons which is over here. You can see the spanner buttons. This is nothing but the properties which you can define for the related list properties. So if the related list properties are speaking about, like for example, if I speak about call direction, I want to add it in the left side of the, I can add, or you can move these fields, call duration. If I want to add, I can make it add and it will be visible over here. So for example, if I press on OK, so it will be completely like the related list will be, see, call duration is over here. So like this, the property speaks about something with related to the related list. Apply column information to other page layouts, that is select all clone prescription layout. So now this is the clone prescription layout, which is a default page layout which is allotted for the information to be on the page layout. So if you go further on the buttons, you have the buttons for the new task. You can see this two buttons, which is new task and new event. If I don't want a new event, I can even make it hide on the new event. So the button which is over here will be moved off. So that is also a kind of return to the previous page. And internal server error has occurred. Let's see, this is what is hidden. So like this, like let us consider with the edit layouts, because I think we are saving with the page layouts. We need to consider the page layouts. The saved one we can deal with. Let us go to the patient prescription. See, that is what, we have already shown this new task and the new event button. So over to the properties, if you go and change the settings, like for example, if you go to the buttons and make some changes, like say for example, if you want to click on this kind of a new event, if you want to change it, and if you press it on OK, the new event will not be seen. So this is another one of the changes which you can do it. I don't know why this internal error has been seen, but basically that is what the changes which is observed within the limit. So if you go to the edit page layout, so you can see the changes, whatever the effective what I have seen with the perspective to the default layout. So now the default layout will show its effect. And whenever you go to the patient prescriptions object, if I open the patient prescription object and there is a layout which I want to see, the default layout will be the cloned one because we have already set the page layout assignment onto the default with the master, correct? So because of that, it is showing the master layout as the clone prescription layout. So this is all about the information on the page layout, guys. And the last but not the least, the report chats. This we will talk about the later because these are the report chats which have been created, already when I'm doing the reports and dashboards. So we have already have the reports and dashboards. We can even, drag and drop these reports. Like for example, I already have the reports. You can drag and drop at the report charts, which is not available here. You cannot drag and drop anywhere else, only at the reports sections. Now, where are these report sections? You can drag it on. You need to check it on. So over there, you can, highlight those reports. Basically, on the sections, if you create a section, I haven't tried anything about these side. If I talk about the sections, like, I'm bringing these sections over here. Say, for example, I'm bringing those sections down here, and I would say that it is a one column. If I select a one column, and I would bring those sections. In that sections, I'm going to drag and drop the matrix. See, this is what is all about the report chats. The report chats, whatever the form which you have created, this we will talk on the last topic. This is basically, you need to worry about this as of now, because whenever you see this topic of, chart properties, you have all these chart properties. Like, I can show it in a large way, in a medium way, show title from report, uh, with error, or refresh each time a user opens a page. Okay, I will not make it as, I have made it as intermediate. Now when you're making it as intermediate, you are changing the properties from small, let it be small. It's not available means not available. Hide chart with error. Okay, let me make it visible. This is what is all about the charts which you can bring it on. So that's all, guys. So it's pretty nice to talk about this topic. So let us finish off these sections. Hope you enjoyed this section, and we'll talk about more on record types, which is about to be discussed in the next sections. Thank you so much.